guys, so this is a little intro for our Wispy training. I know that you guys have been thinking about it a lot and you're thinking, how do I differentiate myself from other lash artists, other people that are doing eyelash extensions too, especially if you're living in a little town, a rural little city, or if you are thinking that, you know, your work kind of looks the same to everybody else's, and how do you differentiate yourself from them? How do we make it work? So the trick is that you need to take this training. That will definitely help you guys out a lot. What helps a lot here is that it's a one course training, so you are going to have the training available for you for 2 weeks. So you're going to be able to write it all down, take pictures of it, whatever you want to do, and then all this information is going to help you to actually differentiate yourself from the other lash artists out in your area. Whether you live in a big city or small city, wherever it is, it's going to help you a lot. So we have a strategy here. What is the strategy? So what you want to do is actually do more trainings, do more, and also obviously you're going to want to make more money. How do we achieve that? So we achieve that only by doing a training that's going to differentiate you from the other lash technicians. What we're going to want to do is you're going to want to do the training and make sure that you believe in yourself. Also, what's very important is if you think by lowering your prices and making sure that, you know, you're like kind of like the average price technician, that would not help. What you really want to do is that you want to make sure that your work is going to be different from the others. Also, what we want to do here is we want to achieve financial freedom. So financial freedom is, how do we achieve that? Is by having different work. When you have different work from other technicians out here in wherever area you live, you want to make sure that you're on top of all those prices. You're not, your pricings is different. So the strategy here is, what we want to do is to make sure that you are working with the higher prices. You are not lowering your prices. So you want to make sure that the prices that you have out there are on the higher end of the lash technicians and not lower. That is very, very important. So also thinking that if you lower your prices, you're going to have more clients, that's wrong, because you're going to attract clientele that's going to look for the cheaper prices, as if like when you're on Groupon, or if you're just throwing out sales out there. That's just not the way it is. A lot of it is word of mouth. A lot of it is just making sure that the work that you're doing is amazing, right? So how we do that? The goal within this training is to be able to achieve financial freedom. I'm going to say it again, a financial freedom, which is very important. So how we're going to do that is for you to do this training, and then eventually you will see that your clients are going to be so happy, and they're going to see the work that you're doing, and they will be so satisfied, and everyone's going to be asking where she did her lashes, and then it's word to mouth, a lot of it. Even though now we have Instagram, we have all these social media platforms, a lot of it is word to mouth. So after that, how I'm going to help you achieve it is through this training, and it is literally a fast track to success. I have done this, I've been doing lashes for about 6 years now, and I have created this training so to make sure that we are able to achieve it fast. Obviously, you're gonna need some practice, and you're gonna need to do a couple of clients, but the end result is so worth it. It's worth every single penny. So why this strategy works, it's only because you can value yourself after this training. You're gonna have the value that you're gonna know you're able to put out some work out there that other people cannot do what you're doing. Wispy training, a lot of technicians are kind of trying to do it and all of that and trying to create that look, but I help you guys to really create it perfect. So even in pictures, it looks really, really good. So as a lash artist, I'm sure you felt like you wanted to give up a lot of the time. I'm sure that you wanted to not be a lash artist anymore and maybe take a different path. But at the same time, I know it is hard, but it is so worth it. Eventually, you're going to be able to do a different set and just see your clients' faces light up after it. And I have a lot of clients that even text me after I'm done with their lashes. They're like, that was so worth it. It was worth every single penny. It was amazing. Your sets are just beautiful. I feel beautiful. And that is literally the goal, right? So what we really want to do is achieve that for your clients. Obviously, the satisfaction that we get from the beginning to the end, and you're working on it for 2 hours or an hour and a half, the satisfaction of us just being like, okay, open your eyes, and then you see all these like beautiful lashes, it's just undescribable. I love that feeling. That's literally my favorite part of the sets. Also, what you want to do is that with this kind of training, you're going to be able to pick your clients. Unfortunately, when you're working with Groupon, or if you're working with another platform, or you have sales, it's a little harder because you get a different type of clientele. Once you do a training like this one and your sets are going to be beautiful, you're going to choose the clients that you want to work with. Literally, you're going to choose who you want to work with, and then you tell them the price, and if they're not happy with it, then that's fine. You know, you're going to have other clients that are going to come in, and you know, you're not going to have to deal with clients that are trying to bargain or have cheaper sets for a certain amount of money or the price that it is what it is. And you know, if clients are always willing to pay for the best, it's the same thing with hair and shoes and makeup. You can always go and buy a Maybelline lipstick for $6, or you could go to MAC and buy one for $20. So the quality is huge, and people understand that. So what are we going to learn in this training? So what we're going to learn is how to improve and fast track your skill set from working as a volume lash artist. And we're going to be able to, within the work that you're going to put in yourself, you're going to be able to literally triple your income. That's what I've been asking all my lash artists that have been taking this training. They have tripled their income. So that is huge for you. I want you to also just change as a lash artist. I want you to be able to achieve some sets that everyone is going to be just in shock and find it beautiful for you to do these sets and be able to actually be proud of it and post it on Instagram and post it on social media, and not actually have to explain how much you're charging for your sets, which is, a lot of it is not fair. A lot of people just ask how much you charge, and then you just tell them, and they either book an appointment or they don't. But I know at the end of the day, it's really, really worth it. So now we're going to go over some tips and tricks and some strategies for the inner corners, for the lashes. So the inner corners are the most difficult because that's what you see on pictures the most. So that is why you really want to take your time with the inner corners. I'm going to help you guys and show you why it's so much easier to work with the inner corners with this training. You just need a couple of different tricks and you need a little bit of patience. But if you've already been doing eyelash extensions, you're probably already very patient. So a lot of lash artists don't attack the inner corners, or they do it and they take too long of a length to put in the inner corner, which is pretty bad. Also, some people can apply some lashes that are way too thick, some fans. Within this Wispy training, we're going to explain to you how you can apply the wisps in the inner corners without having your client's lashes being damaged or being too heavy for them and uncomfortable and start poking in the eye. So this is going to be really good for you guys to finally figure out how we can do the inner corners. So here, as you can see, there's a picture of the mega volume fans. You do not want to pick and put any mega volume fans in the inner corners. It's just way too heavy. It's just way too unhealthy for the lash. It's gonna poke in their eye and it's just gonna be, we don't want to put these mega volume fans in the inner corner just because they're just way too heavy and way too annoying. You want to make sure that you put around like a 5D in the inner corners. As you can see, this one's about probably like a 20D. Way too heavy. You definitely want to avoid that mistake. So the inner corner, you can see here, the wisp is about 3 millimeters from the inner corner and out. That's when you apply the first wisp. We only suggest for the inner corners to be a little further in, just because if you put it in as the first lash, it's going to be super annoying again and very uncomfortable. So you really want to make sure that you give it that space. Also, it's not going to look very natural just because when you even apply wisps from, you apply those strip lashes and they're wispy, you will see that it never starts in the inner corner. It always has a little bit of a distance. So the inner corner lashes, what kind of fans do you apply? We always say that you need to apply about 5, 6, or 7, even 8 millimeters in the inner corner of the length of the fans, and then you go about 3 or 4 millimeters longer than the inner corner. So if you apply a 5 as a fan, then you're going to want to apply, the wisp is going to be an 8. I personally like to do 3 millimeters just so the wisps don't get lost in your set. That looks really, really nice. Also, you want to make sure that your fans that you're applying in the inner corner are about 3 to 4D. The dimension of the fan, you make sure you don't go higher than that, just because it's not going to look good. It's going to be irritating for your client, and it's going to be way too heavy, especially in the inner corner. Our lashes are very thin, fragile. You want to make sure that you create the fans that are going to be thin enough for the inner corner. So you can see here in the picture, the inner corners, they're both either you have the not like a little too long of an inner corner lashes, and then you have the perfect length. So this is how it is. So this, you want to make sure that you want to avoid doing that in the inner corner, because want it or not, they're going to start rubbing their eyes. They're either going to pull them out or rip them out. And you want to make sure that you keep the inner corner lashes very short and not as heavy, so that you could see when you do eyelashes that the inner corner lashes are always a lot thinner. The skin is also a lot more thinner and more fragile than like the outer corner of our eyes. So you really want to make sure that this is how you do the lashes. You do not want to do the mega volume set in the inner corner. Even if you do a mega volume set, you could do, and then you calculate that 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter, and then you do the mega volume set. In the inner corner is never mega volume. So you can see here the first layer, the second layer, and the third. So the closest to the lash artist, the top layer, which is the first layer. So as you're looking down, the closest layer to you, you want to avoid putting any lashes on that, just because it is usually like peach fuzz or like a lot thinner lashes than the ones that are in the second and third layer. So you really want to make sure that you avoid the top layer at all costs. Even if they don't have a lot of lashes, don't put it on the first layer closest to you. You want to make sure you avoid that, because once they're going to start growing out, they're going to start twisting. They're not strong enough to hold a fan or a wisp. So especially not a wisp, just avoid that hole. So you always want to make sure that you place your wisps and your fans on the second and third layer. That's very important to know. So working with the inner corners, this is the trick. This is what I use. I'm going to show you guys other little tips and tricks in here, different ones, but this is the one I use to do the inner corner. So you take a gentle tape. You want to use a breathable medical grade tape, also so you don't rip off her skin or her eyebrows, depending on how you like to tape the eyes. So you take the tape and then you just stick it onto the inner corner, and then you just pull to the side, and then you stick the rest. You don't need to tape the whole thing, just because then it's going to be kind of harder to remove. So you just place it on, you pull the skin, and then it just separates the inner corner lashes. And then after that, you will be able to work with them a lot easier. It is so, this is life-changing of a trick. I learned it through one of my trainings, and I have been using it ever since. I use it all the time, especially for skin that droops or anything like that. It's very helpful. So then there's going to be this other trick right here that you can see. You're gonna you can isolate the inner corners with the patches. Personally, that's not my favorite, just because sometimes the patches slide down, or the lashes move around or whatever. It's not my favorite, but it works too very well. It takes more practice to achieve. I think that you need to really practice this on a doll head or on someone that you know very well before you do this technique on a client that you don't really know, and then you just spend more time readjusting the patches or whatever it is. So you really want to make sure that you practice this technique before. So you pull them up, the rest of the lashes, and you have the inner corner that's like available. But at the same time, it doesn't stretch them out. It doesn't pull them apart. So it's still a different way of doing it. It's popular, but it's definitely not my favorite. But it's still possible for you to do. And then we have this other one here. isolating with the patches, as you can see here, tucked away with the patches. So you can only see the inner corner lashes. Again, it's not stretched out, not my favorite, but it's still doable. Once you go through the set and you're doing the wisps, you always want to make sure that you're looking through the stickies. So stickies are when some wisps or some fans are stuck together. You want to make sure that you pull them off of each other so the lashes can grow at their own speed, because then it's going to start pulling and tugging, and you really want to make sure you always check as you're going through the set and at the end. I usually like to do it at the end, from the inner corner to the outer corner, and you really want to make sure you pull them all apart, just so it doesn't get uncomfortable, it doesn't get annoying. Very, very, very important to check for stickies, always, because I know I've gotten my lashes done a couple of times, and literally I would feel the stickies, and then I would go in the mirror with the tweezers, and it's just bugging me, and it's not very comfortable. So how I started and why I created this training. So I literally had a pretty horrible first training. I've told this story many times, and the first training I did, classic, was alright. Volume, the fans, the tweezers, everything was pretty bad. And then I remember her telling me that, well, you're doing something wrong. Your fans aren't working, it's because you're doing something wrong. But I needed an explanation, and I would see people doing fans and creating volume sets, which I thought was impossible because I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, well, people are doing it. If people are doing it and there's more than one person doing it, that means it's possible. So then I kept looking at videos, kept trying to figure it out at home. I was always sitting on the couch after school, after my internship. I would sit and try and do volume fans, and it was just because it was so hard to achieve that I was like, I need to do this. So I created volume training, and then after that I was like, okay, how are we going to bring this whole set for my clients, have different looks in a different way? How am I supposed to do that? So I told myself, I'm going to create a Wispy training. I took the Wispy trainings. I did it overseas, so it was not here. Nobody was still doing it here, and I was working on that, trying to perfect it, trying to do something like I couldn't do before, or nobody has done before. So then I created this training. So what are we going to learn on this online Kim K Wispy training? So how to achieve better clients, how to have financial freedom. We're also going to do, what is it here? From taking your sets from being kind of mediocre to something that's fantastic, beautiful. We're going to be able to do that. We're also going to be talking about working with the inner corners, the mapping of different Kim K Wispy looks, because there's definitely different mappings, different curls that you're going to be able to achieve. Working with L curl or working with M curl, which are not very popular right now, but they will be in a little bit of time. The mistakes that people do with wispy lashes, wispy sets, lash artists do the mistakes. We're gonna also have some videos, how to apply them, how are we doing the wispy sets, and then case studies, how to avoid the mistakes that I have done previously myself, and then trying to show you guys the mistakes that you want to try and avoid. So we're going to make different mistakes. We're going to show different mistakes on the Wispy training. We're also going to show videos on how to apply those wisps, because there's a very particular way, and that training literally explains everything. So here right now you can see the reviews that we have on our page of our training. Honestly, it literally brought everyone tripled their income, literally, if not more. It depends how much you work. These are literally loving their sets, and it doesn't matter how much they charge. They just love it, and they keep coming back, and it doesn't matter the amount of money that they need to pay for the sets. As here you can see, Brianna, she loved our training, and she was extremely happy, and this is her work right here. So this is a lot of FAQ, some questions. Is it worth it? Is it worth the training? A lot of you, is it worth the money? All you need to understand is that if you put in the work and you're going to practice and you're going to do what I tell you to do in this training, you will literally make the money back with, I would say, 3 to 4 clients. You will make it back. You need to put in the work. Like with anything, you literally need to put in the work. When you follow what I'm saying to you in the training, you will make the money in no time. And you know what? A lot of it is investment. You need to invest in yourself. If it's, you know, whatever it is, you need to invest in yourself, and you need to make sure that you're putting in the work, you're putting in the hard work. I know I'm looking right now at the girls that I've trained 3 years ago, and they're doing so good, and it makes me so happy, so proud. I am literally, sometimes it makes me want to cry, because I'm just like, I wish they would have done it sooner, and I wish I would have done it sooner. But at the same time, you have this doubt, you don't know if it's going to work, or you don't know, but you have to understand that whatever you put in, you get good results. So it makes me really excited. So right now we have an offer. It's only available for 24 hours, okay? 24 hours. You get this kit that's $199 worth of products, of 1,000 Lashes products, removers, glues, different glues, the 3 different glues that we have, the velour, the ultra clear, and the ultra glue. Then you get patches, you get the lashes, you get classic lashes, volume lashes, all the different curls, removers, primers, micro tips, brushes. You get all of that. I believe it's even a little bit more than $199, to be honest, if you think about, but it's honestly amazing offer, because you know, when it comes down, you get about 40 clients with this kit, and then you've made your money back in no time. So you guys, it's only available for 24 hours. Click on the link below, get your stuff ready, make sure that you want to bring your lash game to another level. We have a 90-day money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work out for you, if you don't understand the training or anything like that, you'll get your money back. You got 90 days. But I can guarantee that you won't want your money back, because you'll understand everything in the training, and it's just gonna blow up from there. So click on the link below, and thank you for watching.